News today that the feds are officially confirming for the very first time. They're letting us know, in fact, what we already knew. The Hunter Biden laptop is absolutely, positively, 100% real, ladies and gentlemen. It just so happened that this guy, being the not very bright guy that he is, Hunter, really did leave it at a computer store in Delaware. And the Delaware guy really did get a little concerned about it and called Rudy Giuliani. I mean, like, it actually went down the way they told us it went down. And yet think about the effort that they engaged in, that the Democrats engaged in, that the deep state engaged in. 51 ex-spies, including the former deputy director of the CIA, Mike Morrell. I mean, he spearheaded the thing with Blinken's help. Tony Blinken admitting that in testimony, that he talked to Mike Morrell, and he decided it would be a good idea to have this letter, right, that they would publish. And they get all these people that were former officials within the intelligence community come out and say this is nothing but a bunch of Russian misinformation that was getting fed to the American public and that it wasn't real. And then, of course, you had Joe Biden himself, who one would have to think he knew that the laptop was real. He went out there and he promoted this on the national stage. I suspect he knew, and yet look at what he floated. Let's watch this sound. Let's go back to 2020 and hear what Joe Biden said about that laptop.
50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
This is classic Trump. We have 4 days left, and all of a sudden there's a laptop. There's overwhelming evidence that from the intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
I still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation and a smear campaign, like you said.
Yes. I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. It's the last-ditch effort in this desperate campaign to smear me and my family. The vast majority of the intelligence people have come out and said there's no basis at all.
Except there was. Except that everybody was right. And Joe Biden and the deep state and everybody that perpetuated that, the mainstream media, they were all wrong. Think about that. I mean, it's really alarming and startling. And to think that the New York Post, I mean, this is a paper that was founded, say what you want about it these days, it was founded by Alexander Hamilton. And it had its Twitter account shut down. And had Elon Musk not come forward and scooped up Twitter for an outrageous sum of money, too much, frankly, I told you that deal would have to go through, we wouldn't know a whole lot. Right? Like these bits of information are just coming out sort of bit by bit. But the reality is, yes, the laptop was real. Let's go to the documentation. Miranda Devine actually tweeting this out, part of the information that came from the new report. She writes, in the new court filing today, the DOJ confirms Hunter Biden's laptop is real. What do you know? That he left it at a computer store. Ta-da. And the contents matched what they obtained from a search warrant of his iCloud. She makes the point that, don't hold your breath here. It's not like you're going to get an apology. I think we deserve an apology. What do you think? By the way, this is a live show. So if you're watching right now, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go and you make some comments because we're having a discussion and I'm going to get out to all of you in just a moment. Thank you for being here. But this is something else. Basically, investors also later came into possession, she writes, investigators later came to the possession of the defendant's Apple MacBook Pro, which he had left at a computer store. Bingo. Okay, so that was not a fake computer. That was not something that the Russians drummed up. No, that's really just how he is. I mean, you've seen some of the pictures. They're pretty lewd. I mean, not good. And there's a host of other sort of deviant things on there. Apparently, that's in part why they were looking at it in the first place, because of the international deviant things that were going on. And yet all of these guys and gals, they came out. I mean, Brennan, Morrell, I mean, the list goes on and on. Look at those pictures. This was a great cover, by the way, by the New York Post. So then you start to think, what the heck? I mean, this institution of government, are they really on our side? Doesn't feel that way.